Cha Kripa Sindhu Vaecha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Om Ajnati Marandasya Vinagana Salakaya Chaksu Militam Yenatra Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nitya Manjari had to go. She had a little emergency. Her daughter has, Rupa has gallstones or kidney stones. Very urgent care. She had to, so we all pray that she doesn't have too much pain and she's taken care of as soon as possible.
But not to worry because all the cooking has been done.
That was
just
very,
have to offer it to Krishna would be good.
Yes, that was a very nice kirtan by Nisringananda Prabhu. Very, very beautiful.
I dedicated it to you.
From the heart. He came from the heart. And so you can feel it, everyone feels it. We're all about the heart. Bhakti Yoga is all about the heart. But in this day and age,
where's Dave? Right here.
People in the New Age society, they talk about the heart. They talk about getting to the heart level. They like to hug and be coming from the heart and be real. They call it being real. You've heard that expression? Let's be real. But they're not. You can't really be real unless you're Krishna conscious. That's our point. Because to get to the heart level, you have to know what's in the heart. You can try to get to the heart level, you can try to be real, but unless you're a devotee, you can never be real. You can never get to that level of the heart. The heart, you have the Atma and you have the Paramatma. And for devotees who are worshipping Radha and Krishna, they don't just see the Paramatma, they see Radha and Krishna. So Radha and Krishna are the Atma's best friends. They're the best friend to the soul. But the people nowadays who are in this new age concoction, unfortunate for them, they don't have access because they choose not to have access to Radha and Krishna properly. Sometimes they chant Hare Krishna, but they don't understand the idea of service to Radha and Krishna. They have this idea of merging into Krishna. But we are teaching this philosophy, this science of service to Radha and Krishna. Our philosophy is Dvaita Advaita, Shuddha Advaita, Vishuddha Advaita, Achinta Veda Veda Tattva. It is not Advaita. Advaita philosophy comes from Shankaracharya. Everything is one, he says. Everyone is all the same. There's no distinctions. When you get past the bodily concept, Shankaracharya says, everything is one. Form is meaningless. That is called Advaita or monism. But that is not the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is not the philosophy of any of the Vaishnava Sampradayas. The Vaishnavacharyas preach two, not one. There's two. There's Vamsa and Svamsa and Vibhinamsa. Svamsa is Krishna, the supreme, and Vibhinamsa are the many. Haribol Maharaj. But we are not God. This idea that the Atma, the tiny, tiny Atma, according to the Vedas, we are 1/10,000th the tip of a hair in size. so tiny, but we act so big, puffed up, that we have the false ego concept about ourselves. I'm the master, I'm in control, everything is under I will control you, you will try to control me, like this. But the soul is so tiny, 1/10,000th of a hair. What control does the Atma have over anything? So we have to know the science if we're going to become peaceful and actually content. We have to understand Krishna's in control. There is a God and he has a form. And that form is Sachidananda Vigraha. And the soul has a form. So this idea that Shankaracharya is preaching, this monism, that is covered philosophy coming from an expansion of Lord Shiva under direction of Krishna. In order to kick out the Buddhism and the Voidism from India, Krishna told Lord Shiva, you need to get people back to the Vedas. So he preached this philosophy and was very successful at removing Buddhism as the predominating religion of India. They brought people back to the Vedas because Shankaracharya quoted so much from the Vedas. But then at the end of his life, he told his disciples, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda. Worship Govinda, worship Govinda. Because he's a devotee of Krishna. Lord Shiva's a he's Mahadev, and he's a Mahajan. He's great Vaishnava. He carries on his head the Ganga that Krishna created when he put his toe through the ceiling of the universe. The water coming down, the jala is Ganga. Lord Shiva said it's coming down so quickly. Bhagirath is called. Ganga, Bhagirath. It's coming down so quickly. Let me offer some service to Krishna, and I will have the water hit my head so it does not hurt the planets as it comes down, because it was gaining speed as the water's coming down. The Lord Shiva is so strong, Mahadev. Only he could do something like that. He did as a service for Krishna. He's a great Vaishnava. Always looking to render service, he meditates on Shankarshan as an expansion of Krishna. That is who he meditates. You always see a picture of Lord Shiva meditating. He's meditating on Shankarshan. So ultimate happiness is meditating on Krishna. Krishna himself alone and his direct expansions and his pure devotees are on the transcendental platform. Even Lord Shiva is not on the transcendental platform. He touches, by design, he touches the material modes of nature in order to render service to Krishna. He helps those in the material modes of nature. Lord Shiva is so kind. He helps the ghosts, the goblins, the bhutas, the pretas. He helps them to achieve a higher birth. He's easily pleased, Asutosh. And Lord Shiva, he teaches worship of Krishna. So in this age, people don't know, they don't refer to the Vedas properly. They don't hear from proper individuals. Sometimes you see these people who are followers of Lord Shiva have tremendous following. Millions of followers. I've seen, and they get up on stage and they just dance around like they're Shiva. They just dance like they're Shiva. And everyone's happy and applauding. Sometimes they chant names of Shiva in order to achieve liberation. And they don't understand his position. They're not being guided properly. Here in Krishna consciousness, we're trying to teach people the correct knowledge, the correct siddhanta, so that they can worship and give their hearts to Krishna. Because we all want to give our heart to somebody. You cannot give your heart to the Brahman, to the impersonal Brahman, the formless Brahman. You can't give your heart to that. In fact, if you practice that type of meditation, your heart becomes hard. Not soft, hard. In Krishna consciousness, the heart becomes pliable, becomes soft, because we feel this subservience to Krishna, this natural svadharma, this natural tendency to want to serve God awakens in our heart, which makes our heart very soft. You know, you walk around, we teach people, say Prabhu, oh Prabhu, my master, your master, oh Prabhu, oh Prabhu. We teach people the correct way of dealing with each other. Because this is our natural position. And when we hear the glories of Krishna, the heart becomes purified. It gives up the false ego. The intelligence becomes, vyavasayatmika buddhi, becomes fixed. The mind doesn't pickle anymore. It doesn't waver. Because hearing the glories of Krishna is the correct medicine for us. The problem we have in life is we don't hear the glories of Krishna. We don't know his glories. They're there. They're always in the Vedas. It's not that they weren't here. We can't blame God. Oh, I didn't know it's God's fault. I didn't know. I'm just an innocent person. No. Krishna consciousness is eternal Sanatan Dharma. The Vedas are eternal. Bhakti is eternal. Somehow, we are in the clouds, and the sun is beyond the clouds. So, our responsibility is to get into the sun. We cannot blame Krishna. This is our responsibility. We took this responsibility where we are now. Our actions have got us to where we are. Is it not? Who can say differently? We must take responsibility for our actions. Sometimes our actions bring us some kind of joy. Sometimes they bring us misery. Generally, they bring misery. Because after joy comes misery in this material world. But we are the ones that are doing the action. Krishna is only fulfilling. The super soul is neutral. He's the overseer and permitter. What would you like to do? Where do you want to go? What is your desire? In the beginning, Krishna says, I sent forth men, demigods, and animals along with yajna. Be thou happy by the performance of yajna. So in the beginning, the opportunity existed to perform yajna. He didn't leave us. Krishna never abandoned anybody. He said, you have choice. You want to follow dharma or adharma? What is your choice? What would you like to do? I'm telling you, you'll be happy if you perform dharma. But the choice is up to you. In the beginning, everyone was dharmic in the Satya Yuga. It just slowly eroded, and then Krishna would come time and time again to remind us. He came 500 years ago. 5 generations. You can almost touch Lord Chaitanya, who's so close. We know people who were related to Lord Chaitanya at that time. You can meet people still in India. Oh yes, my grandfather's Lord Chaitanya. God himself, Swayam Bhagavan. 500, just 5 generations. So close, so close. Oh, oh, oh. So how can we complain? How can we complain God's abandoned us? When Lord Chaitanya came, he overflooded the Dham with the chanting, the melodious sound of Radha and Krishna. He was in mad love. And so many people were affected. They just saw his dancing. They didn't know, but they were affected. That is Krishna consciousness. The chanting is so powerful and so full of prema that even if you don't know the philosophy, there are some instances where the Mohammedan soldiers, they saw Lord Chaitanya lying on the ground unconscious, and they saw around him some of his intimate disciples. So the first thought, these soldiers were on horses, and the first thought was, those are dacoits trying to hurt a sannyasi. That was their first thought. So they got off their horses, and as they approached Lord Chaitanya to see if he was alive, they touched him, and they started chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Immediately. They couldn't stop. They didn't know what was going on because Lord Chaitanya has so much prema coming from his body that they started chanting. Or another time when Lord Chaitanya thought that this particular river was the Jamuna, he jumped in out of ecstasy. And he fell unconscious, which was very common for him because he was in the mood of Radharani, so much deep prema. And a fisherman had his net, and he thought he caught this fabulous fish. He thought he caught a moonfish, it was Lord Chaitanya, in his net. So he grabbed him, helped him prevent from what he thought he was drowning. And he was so affected by Lord Chaitanya. Anyone who came in contact, they just saw Lord Chaitanya dancing in the house of Srivas in the courtyard. Millions of people, it says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, saw this dancing. And they all became inspired. They didn't know the philosophy. They weren't well read in the Vedas. They didn't learn all the Vedas, but they were affected by the chanting. Lord Chaitanya's desire is to educate this way in Kali Yuga, to give this Maha Mantra to people. This is why we go out and we chant. We are following in his footsteps. This is why we deliver people through chanting, this chanting and this dance. I hope you all had the experience of going on Harinam, of going out and chanting, because you should do that. It's a very wonderful thing. Even if the people don't know what you're doing, sometimes they even act belligerent. Please shut up and stop this chanting, please. We're trying to conduct our business. No, we must chant. We go up and down, we chant. Most of the time people like us. Sometimes they act a little bit belligerent, but most of the time they like us. So this chanting is the inspiration of Lord Chaitanya. It is the essence of Vedic study. It is said that someone who chants Hare Krishna has studied all the Vedas and has understood the conclusion, which is to always glorify God. So even if we have not studied the Vedas, if we chant Hare Krishna under the direction of our spiritual master, all the purports of the Vedas will be revealed to us. Your intelligence will become Krishna conscious. If I'm reading the Bhagavad Gita for the first time, I may not understand it. But because my spiritual master told me I should read it, I read it. And in due course of time, it's revealed to me more and more and more. I will see Krishna on every page and understand Krishna consciousness. We will get to the point of being Krishna conscious. Krishna consciousness, according to Rupa Goswami, is where we never forget Krishna. We're always reminded of him by somehow, some way. And the easiest way is to chant Hare Krishna. But sometimes something will remind us of Vaishnava, something will happen, some prasadam, something someone says, and to be able to regularly reconnect ourselves to Krishna, that is a Krishna conscious platform. I'm always remembering Krishna. And deeply within ourselves, this point comes when that stage where we are on this level of Atma, where we are on a level of pure consciousness, where the karma that we've had for many, many lifetimes has been dissipated, neutralized by the chanting. Right now, I'm thinking, I'm this body. Aham Brahma, I'm this body. You are this body, you are that body, I am this body, and we are all attracted to these bodies. And that is the condition of Maya. And when we are Krishna conscious, we know we're not the body. Prabhupada said, Aham Brahmasmi. I am not the body, I'm spirit soul. Jivera Swarupa Hoy Nitya Krishna Das. Lord Chaitanya said to Sanatana Goswami, you are the eternal servant of Krishna. That is who you are. Because Sanatana Goswami said, Kayami, who am I? Lord Chaitanya said, Kivera Swarupa Hoy Nitya Krishna Das. That is who you are. That is who we are. We are naturally the servant of Krishna. So when our karma is removed by the grace of Krishna, the practice of Krishna consciousness, We come to this nice stage of neutrality. We're not affected by the three modes of nature. We realize we're not the body. We're pure consciousness. We're Atma. We're an aspect of Brahman. Pure. And on that level, we can appreciate the glories of Krishna, the transcendental qualities of Krishna. Unlimited beauty, unlimited strength, unlimited knowledge, unlimited wealth, unlimited fame, unlimited renunciation. Unlimited means at every moment it's increasing for Krishna. There's no cessation. We don't have that experience within ourselves. This is, however, the unique quality of God. His qualities never diminish, they increase. So when we are on that stage of pure consciousness, we can participate in remembering these pure qualities, and they enliven us. That is the nature of the internal potency of Krishna. The Haladini Shakti, the internal potency gives us enlivenment. It's filled with Krishna's qualities. And when we come to the stage of purity, we know how to worship. We've regained our svadharma, our ability to worship. Because right now, I'm only wanting to worship myself in the conditioned stage. Who wants to glorify me? That is conditioned life. Pay attention to me, my qualities, and that is why I'm conditioned. And when we are unconditioned, we want to pay attention to Krishna's qualities. We want to serve his qualities, not master the material nature. A change has occurred in us. We give up the attachment to material life. We become interested in the internal potency of devotion. And that internal potency is more powerful than the external potency. Maya is very strong, but the internal potency of Krishna and devotion is stronger. So we are thinking, how impossible is it to control our mind and our senses? I cannot do Krishna consciousness. It's too difficult. I can't chant, I can't perform because my mind is too strong. Arjuna told Krishna, the mind is more fickle than the wind. How can we control it? And Krishna gives the answer. He says, yes, it is very strong. He agrees. Yes, the mind is so strong. But by doing bhakti, devotion to me, the mind surrenders. It finds happiness and joy. In Bhagavad Gita, there's 4 nutshell verses in the 10th chapter where Krishna tells Arjuna, Tesham satatam yuktanam, bhajatam priti purvakam. He's telling Arjuna, my pure devotees are merged in the ocean of ecstasy, relishing topics about me, chanting my glories. They're submerged. Rupa Goswami talks about it like being in an ocean, like these waves. Or showers. He calls them showers or waves. Vishwanath Chakravarti calls them showers. And Rupa Goswami calls them waves. Like you're in waves. Sometimes a pure devotee is submerged in these waves of ecstasy that's within his heart. Bhava. Bhava is emotion coming from the internal potency, coming from one contacting Krishna, Radha and Krishna. He gets bhava. So sometimes he feels this submerging in this ocean. If you read Nectar Devotion, all of these qualities of a pure devotee are explained. Rupa Goswami says sometimes you'll see a pure devotee, he's got horripilation, bumps on his body, he's in ecstasy. Tears sometimes flow from his eyes. He distinguishes there sometimes wet tears, cold tears, and warm tears. 2 different types of tears, Rupa Goswami says. He goes into detail on these different ecstasies which result from that. In other words, we, you, I, we can also experience this. We will experience this at some point in our Krishna consciousness. We'll experience Bhav. This is our destiny. If you practice Krishna consciousness, if you practice regularly, if you follow in the footsteps of the Acharya, if you chant Hare Krishna regularly. Lord Chaitanya himself chanted Hare Krishna regularly. He took a cloth, a piece of cloth, and he tied it into knots, like there were the knots on the cloth. And he used that for his japa, for counting the number of rounds he was chanting. He emphasized this regularity in our practice. It's called sadhana. Rupa Goswami is the incarnation of the literary incarnation that he was inspired by Lord Chaitanya to write. He gave us the practice of bhakti. Lord Chaitanya didn't have time. He was so absorbed in this mood of Radharani. He so much wanted to stay internalized. He delegated the practice and the writing to Rupa. You write, I'll inspire. Rupa Goswami wrote Nectar Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And in there, he explained that we as bhaktis, we're practicing sadhana bhakti. And sadhana bhakti is two parts, Vaidhi and Ragamrita. So Vaidhi, he's explaining all the details of each. So if you read, you can learn everything. Nothing is kept from us. But we have to read. And you can learn how to practice Vaidhi Bhakti, how to be regulated, how to deal in terms of the deity, how to perform your practice properly in front of the deity, and how to chant properly. Everything is given by him. Rules and regulations in order for us to discipline ourselves so our mind can become peaceful, so our mind can become purified. And then we get to the more advanced stage of Raganuga, where we begin this idea of internally developing a spontaneous loving relationship with Krishna. Like Radharani and the gopis have. It's not beyond, it's not so esoteric, it's not so impossible. It's achievable. There is a science behind this, step by step by step. We start with Diksha from the Guru. We take Diksha, we become initiated. We take a vow. The vow is called a vrata. In front of the deities, there is fire, there is a spiritual master. We take a vow. Prabhupada used to have this for us, and he would have his beads, the beads he chanted on. He'd chant on the beads, one round on our beads. And then we would call us in front. And he would say, okay, what are the four regulative principles? And sometimes we would be in so much ecstasy because we were going to get initiation from Srila Prabhupada. We couldn't even remember what the four regulative principles were. But there's four regulative principles that we have to practice. We have to agree to practice Krishna consciousness. Does anyone know the four regulative principles? Who can name one? Who can name one? Yes.
No intoxication.
No intoxication. Yes.
No meat eating.
No meat eating.
No gambling.
No gambling. Huh?
16 rounds.
No gambling. And the fourth,
16 rounds of justice.
no illicit sexual connection. These are the four regulative principles. And one other thing. Agree to chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna a day.
What was the fifth principle?
The fifth principle?
Key.
The key principle? Chanting 16 rounds. Chanting is the most important aspect of Krishna.
The fifth one is to give up all material possessions, including yourself.
Thank you, Maharaj.
That's no one can follow.
So you take the Diksha from the spiritual master, you make a vow, a vrata, a vow that you're going to chant. Now you are a devotee, you are a practicing devotee. Prabhupada would say we are all mangoes in different states of ripeness. Now we are a mango. We are part of the Krishna conscious society. You take that vow. And then you get strength from association, from devotees. You get strength, and you get strength from the chanting, and you advance. And you begin to separate yourself from your material conception of life and your material affections and your material desires. You get strained. And soon you start to feel this ecstasy. This is the practice of Krishna consciousness. So we're now going to we're going to chant together one round of the Hare Krishna mantra. We're going to do this. We do this every time we come together. And we're going to do it together because by doing it together, Prabhupada said that a twig is easy to break. But when you take many twigs together, like a trunk of a tree, you cannot break. So we'll chant together. Yeah. So thank you all for listening. Very nicely. You're all very, very good listeners. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. If you have questions, we'll talk later. Maybe over Prashadam. So we're going to chant one round. This is the 108 beads, 108 gopis, 108 Upanishads. This is the Krishna bead, the main bead. So we don't touch the Krishna bead. We start on one side, and each bead we chant the Hare Krishna mantra. It's a self thing. You can chant not too loud, not too low. It should really for yourself. But if you chant too low, you can't hear. So Hare Krishna, like that, about that level. And take your time. It shouldn't be too long for you to chant one round. But we'll try to chant together. Are you ready? Okay. Raja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasa Shri Hare Hare. Hare everyone finish their round? Yes. Prabhupada?
Yeah, we want to thank you for being the Prabhupada. Very enthusiastic. Yeah, what? Oh, we don't celebrate that.
Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna to
Oh, I
you.
better go make a cake.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna to you. Hare Rama to you, Hare Rama to you. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama to you. Let be your life dedicated to Krishna, and you will continue nourish us with your Harikatha and glorify Srila Krishna and Vaishnava until you are heavenly go back to the next level.
Leave it to the Swami Kumar. I just want to apologize, you know, that we didn't prepare something for you. I wish I know how many years you've gone around the sun now? 74 years around the sun. That's pretty good. 75 if you look at it from the time of conception. But, you know, I just want to, well,
Your association is all I need.
I'm so
I'm
sorry
happy to
that
be here.
that
It's
we
all I
didn't
care.
think, wait a minute, we did manifest a little something, let's do it again. Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna to you, and may you never take birth in this material world again. Hare Krishna. To Mahashakti
Make a little origin.
I only wish good blessings
Let me
to
give you
everyone here.
Don't blow.
They may all become Krishna conscious in this lifetime. This is my fervent wish. Hare Krishna.
Hey, there you go. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
So yes, thank you, Mahashakti, for all your seva. You, Prabhupada, all the Vaishnavacharyas, the devotees, we really appreciate your coming here. It means a great deal to us. And we're happy to be privileged to be part of this little celebration for your continued presence here on the planet, distributing the nectar of the Holy Name. Thank you. Really, really from my heart and my wife's heart. So, a couple of announcements. So before we're going to, Prasadam's not there yet. It's going to be put on the table, so we'll probably have a kirtan before then. Victor's going to lead the kirtan. He's actually an excellent kirtan leader. And we haven't had the opportunity. Victor, please come. Victor's actually a musician. He's a singer. He's a worker bee. And he's a very nice devotee. So you can use the harmonium here. Take your top off it. It'll protect you from children. Meanwhile, I just want to make a couple of announcements. One is my wife will be back in a few minutes. The daughter is being taken care of, the virtual care. And so what I'd like to announce to everybody also this evening is some of you know, not all of you know, we